call this meeting in order, and if you can, please stand. First of all, I'd like to thank each and every one of you for coming tonight, and just looks like, I know some of you might have had some snow. Somebody came in from North Topsail and said they had snow up there. I never saw any snow, but there was a car at the Kiwanis this morning that had some on the top of it. So some people got snow. Onslow County Schools was out, but Pender County Schools went. So sort of an unusual time.
They're further north.
Huh?
They're further north.
Yeah, they're further north. That's right. North Topsail was way up north, you know, where it's cold. So we were down here where it's warmer. But anyway, at this time, I ask our Mayor Pro-Tem, Buddy Fowler, if he'll lead us in prayer, please.
Let's bow our heads. Our Father, we're thankful for the many resources that you allow us to enjoy. We're thankful for the surf-seated place we live. Father, we're thankful for all of its citizens. We're thankful for the many blessings you bring into our life. Father, we ask you to continue to protect our sailors and soldiers overseas, bring them home safely, and continue working with their families. And speaking of families, Father, we all have those that are in need. You know all the needs that we have. We ask you to reach out and be with them, lift their families up, and lift their spirits up, Lord. We ask all these things in your most precious name. Amen.
Amen. Amen. Now I ask this time Councilman Don Helms if he'll lead us in the pledge.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you, and you may be seated. And it must not have snowed too awfully much in Jacksonville today, because our attorney said he wouldn't be here if it snowed so much. So he's here, so evidently got less than a foot, right? Okay. We ask that the attendants please set their cell phones to silent or vibrate mode, and the council offers the public opportunity to speak during the meeting. Comments should be limited to 3 minutes each and must be directly issue-oriented with agenda items for this meeting or issue upon which the council has control. Citizen speakers will be acknowledged in order in which they signed up and to speak, and will address all comments to the board as a whole, not one individual council member. Speakers will address the council from the speaker's podium at the front of the room and will begin their remarks by stating their name and address. Discussions between speakers and members of the audience will not be allowed. Public comment is not intended to be required. We're not intended to require the council to answer any impromptu questions. Speakers are expected to be civil in their language and presentation. Any comments where the primary purpose is to promote business or candidacy shall not be allowed. Okay. In accordance with the council's adopted rules of procedure, council members shall reserve responses, if any, for the council forum on the agenda. We do have a time on the agenda for each council person to present their opinions or whatever they want to present. All right, adoption of the agenda. With no other items being considered separately, a motion to adopt the meeting agenda is in order. Do we have anything that needs to be pulled off? Or
Yes, I'd like to pull off 3.
Pull off number 3,
Yeah.
Okay?
And I'll second that.
There, you'll second it. Okay? That's the resolution on the North Carolina DOC speed reduction, Highway 50 and 210, right? Okay.
Doug, number 5, there's somebody
No.
else on
3.
number 5.
3.
I said number 5 also. I'd like to, a couple items I want to discuss on number 5.
I have a motion to
You
pull
want
number
to discuss
5
it or-
off the.
Well, there's some things on there that don't make sense to me, so I'd like to discuss it.
Okay, I have a motion to pull the emergency management director description and classification out of the consent agenda. Do I have a second?
Are you pulling it off or pulling it to another section?
I just wanted, there's a couple items I want to go over, so whatever you consider that.
Well, it comes up at a different time, right?
Yeah.
Do I? Do I need a second on that? Okay, do I have a second?
I'll second.
Okay. So that's 3 and 5 that will be talked about individually. Okay? All the rest of the consent agenda, okay?
Yep.
I'm making
All
a
right.
motion that we approve
Do
the
I have
rest
a
of it.
motion?
I'll
I
second.
made it.
And motion and second. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Unanimously. Okay. All right, resolution number 2019-08, request NC DOT speed reduction highway 50 and 210. Who wants to present that?
We were just gonna pull it off and leave it.
Huh?
That motion was to pull number 3 with a second from Mr. Helms. Then I've got to remove item 5 to general items from Mr. Shugarts with a second from Mr. Fowler.
To
So,
discuss.
So we're
yes,
not
for discussion.
discussing
So
the
3's
DOT.
off, 5 is
Okay,
open.
all right. Good enough. All right. Okay, number 5, emergency management director description and classification.
Mr. Chairman?
Jeremy?
Yep, okay, if we can go down to duties and responsibilities, I want to go down to fulfilling the role of the, as incident commander or in any other command of general staff position requested during incidents. I just need some clarification on that. Is that, so is he oversee, for example, fire and police? Does he oversee those departments? Because this is what fulfilling the role as incident commander, that's what that means. Unless, so I just want some clarification on that. Yeah,
Okay.
there you go, Ash.
That would be in the case if there was a full department and there was staff within an emergency management department, then he would oversee that staff. But that's not the case. It's just James.
Okay, so is there a different way to reword, you know what I'm saying? Because this states fulfilling the role as an incident commander, any command general staff position is required requesting during incidents. So all I'm saying is during incidents, that means that would the fire department, I just want to clarify, I want to make sure I'm 100%, would the fire department and the police department and the rest of the town, would he be in charge in an emergency situation? Would he have the final say-so, and would he be in complete control in an emergency such as a hurricane?
No, not complete, no.
Okay.
Not complete control, no.
Okay. So where would he fit in that, just to make sure, because I've read through this a couple times, I'm a pretty smart guy, and I can't figure out. So what would his role be as far as, so we have this hurricane like we did, and I know what we're trying to do is we're trying to have preparation and we're trying to get organized. Obviously, you got Chief Shannon, Chief Wilson, yourself, that would obviously collaborate along with the mayor. What would be his role as far as in this particular setting, if you don't mind?
Assisting myself
Okay.
and the mayor and helping make some decisions, but he doesn't oversee the staff.
Okay.
He'll also be getting with the state. He can contact the county and contact the state as the EM director
He is that
to get us
liaison.
supplies that we need instead of having to wait on them.
Okay, so that answers my because I'm number. Next one says coordinating efforts with county and state. Now, if I understand, if he calls the state, they're going to redirect him back to the county. Is that incorrect or is that correct?
Correct.
So then he won't have coordination with the state. He'll have coordination with the county, and he would need to request something from the county to get something from the state. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's the way we've always done it.
But this says coordinating efforts with the state and federal. I'm just wanting to make sure I'm 100 and understand my questions. We're having a position here that no other city has a position like this locally. They rely on the counties, and we're putting this in. Okay, and as I said to you all before, I'm okay if that's what this council wants to do, but I want to make sure that I understand exactly what his role is.
So I interpret that as that role, it's not just in an emergency situation, it's in general. So James would be responsible with keeping up with communication and keeping good relationships with the county and with the state and with federal agencies in the same role that he's in.
Okay.
So that's not just in emergency situations.
Okay, got it. And then I think that answers my next. If you go to the next page, Ashley, please, real quick. If you go down halfway, overall, see EOC, Operation and Management Services, EOC Manager, ensures actually. So And what I'm saying is here, this wording to me gives that person control of the EOC completely. This is overseeing EOC operation management. All I don't want to do is I want to make sure I'm very specific on, does he have more authority than you? Because in this,
No.
I understand that, but in this paper, as to me, I would read this and I would think that he has more, and not that I have a problem with Sergeant Horn here, I have a problem with, I want to make sure that he does not have more authority than the chief of police, the fire chief, and yourself, is what I'm trying to make sure of.
No.
No,
Okay.
he's just responsible for keeping the EOC
Okay.
running as it should.
Okay, got it, excellent.
Provides guidance to the town office.
Well, I know he provides guidance to the town, I just want to hear from Ashley to make sure I understood this. Alrighty. That was it for me, thank you for that, appreciate it.
And if you go back, basically, he did a lot of this during the last hurricane anyway. Of course, I mean, yeah, naturally, he's working with the police department and with the fire
Right.
department.
Well, yeah, and I know that, I just want to make sure that there was crossover and there was not one person that was the end-all be-all for that. And that was what I was wanting to make sure of.
No.
Because we have the town manager, and that's really the ultimate, like North Topsail and Topsail Beach, they are the emergency operations directors in their city, prospective cities. So I want to make sure that you still have that authority here. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
Excellent.
His
Right, I mean,
basic
that's just
thing
like
is that-
Shanahan is head of the police department.
Absolutely.
But he's not all is and all in, you know.
Right,
He has to go through her.
right. Got it. Okay, thank you. That's all I know. I appreciate it. Thank you.
You gonna make the motion?
Can I make a
Yep.
motion, we approve it now?
And I'll second it.
Second. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay. All right, bid acceptance. And this is for our hauling beach replenishment. Hello?
Hello? Okay, so the town put out an RFP for sand hauling for Phase 1 of our dune restoration. We opened bids yesterday. We received 4 bids, Bridgepoint, ST Wooten Corporation, Elijah Morton, and Omega Construction. And as you can see, the tabulations are there in front of you, and the lowest bidder was Omega Construction at $4,998,227. Our budget was $5 million, so we're under budget. They are able to start on the 11th, which is Monday. So I ask that you all accept this bid and approve this bid for Omega Construction to do sand hauling.
I'll make a motion, we accept it.
Second. Do we have a second?
Second.
Any discussion? All in
I
favor,
wanna
say aye.
something.
Wait a minute.
It's a lot of money from all of them, but we had to do it. And y'all know how precious sand is. And they approved it when they want to haul it. It's high, but we'll get through it.
I'd like to say something too. I want to respectfully disagree now, but we didn't have to do this. We could have pushed the whole beach and then saved that money in our beach nourishment fund and then later did what we need to do. So there was 2
I
options.
don't think so.
It's what's fair. We can agree to disagree. It's fine.
Well,
That's
I'll
correct.
tell you, I've messed with it a long
I got
time.
it. Okay.
Thank you.
Any more discussion?
Nope.
All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, same sign. Motion carried. Okay. Let's see, the time now is 6:45. Go into a public hearing. It's continuous annexation request, Highway 17, Spiller, Sidbury, Pender County, PIN number 4225-09-2979-000, 4226-006544-000, 426-111-444-000. And this is an annexation request. Ms. Ashley, have you got something you'd like to present?
Yes, so as you stated, this is an annexation for three tracts of land, 3 parcels that would like to be annexed into the town of Surf City. It's located on Highway 17.
Do we have any comments on this particular thing? It would have to be only about this annexation.
How much land's with that?
Yes, sir.
Am I?
Yes, sir. Go right ahead.
My name's Henry Nadeau. I'm live in Scotts Hill, 311 Scottsdale Drive. And I appreciate you guys taking some time for me. I'm a commercial real estate broker representing the Spillers and Mr. Sidbury in the annexation. And I just wanted to say that it was a pleasure working with staff, getting things organized. I just have been very pleased with the way things run around here. And so just wanted to thank you for taking some time for us. And I appreciate it. I think that we're right at the mouth of the growing town of Surf City, and look forward to working with you.
Okay, hold on just a minute. Councilwoman wanted to know how much property there was
Yeah,
there.
and just where is this?
It's across Highway 17.
Out yonder at 210?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's close to, you know where the boat drop is out
Yeah.
there?
And how much land did he say was in it?
We've got one tract is 5 acres, a little over 5 acres, right at the intersection stoplight corner. And then the next tract down, 1.8, 1.6 acres. And then the last piece is 1 acre, right at the corner of Trader's Neck Road.
And you don't know what you want to build over there?
We don't, but we have residential zoning currently, and for highway frontage, you know, stoplight corner, it's just not appropriate. And I think anybody going into that corner is going to want to have the sewer access, is going to want to have the commercial zoning. So we're just trying to simplify people's
all right.
lives.
We'll take your tax dollars.
And we'd be pleased to give them to you.
Thank you.
And I'm available if you have any questions. Thank you.
Any other questions for him?
No, I'm good.
Anybody in the audience have a question for him? Okay, if not, thank you, sir. All right, anybody else need to speak on this proposal? Anybody else need to speak? Anyone else want to speak? We will close this public hearing at this time, and it's 6:44.
I make a motion we annex it.
Second?
We need to set the zoning
Set
for
the zoning order
C3.
C3.
Yeah,
C3,
set it for C3.
yeah.
Okay. All right. Anybody else got any comments? We have a motion and a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Opposed, same sign. Motion carries unanimously. Okay, we come to the public comment area. This is when citizens have an opportunity to address the council for no more than 3 minutes per speaker on topics which concern agenda items of this meeting. It is agenda items of this meeting, and you have the list.
Mr. Joey Hemp of 305 North Topsail Drive.
Yeah, I'm at 305 North Topsail Drive. I think most of you know me. I'm the only one that rides an adult tricycle on the island. And I take that bridge on a daily basis. And I'm very concerned about the debris that's on the bike lanes going both directions. And I just want to know how often, if you haven't started, when are you going to start cleaning it? I've gotten 2 flat tires already. So that's it. That's all I want to know.
Okay.
Thank
I
you.
will address that in my manager's report.
You're going to address it, she's going to address that in the manager's report.
Okay.
Okay?
Thank you.
All right.
All right, next I have a Mr. Jack Solak of 2408 South Shore Drive.
Thank you. I wanted to thank everybody on the council and the manager, secretary, the chief of police, our lawyers, for pushing sand. We really needed it. Thank God you guys came through, because there were a lot of houses ready to fall in, and you're doing a fabulous job getting that rebuilt. Thank you.
Thank you, Jack. They're doing a pretty finished job too, aren't they?
Pretty what?
I say they're doing a pretty finished job when they.
They did a nice job a couple of years ago, and they're doing just as good a job this year.
That's right.
It's not as big because
Yeah.
there's not much sand out there, but it's still a help. Every little bit of sand you get,
Every little bit helps.
Big help.
That's
Thank
right.
you.
Get to our nourishment project next fall.
Okay, I guess I have another minute. Hopefully, we'll find some way,
I can't believe I got you back to speaking again.
to get that $5 million back into that beach nourishment fund, because if we don't want to delay that beach nourishment, that's the most important project
It was.
on this island that we've ever had.
Right.
And we got to do it. Please do it.
It won't.
Thanks.
We'll do it.
Next I have Mr. David Gilbride of 8013 8th Street.
Good evening. We had the privilege of attending the last workshop meeting where there was a really fine presentation by Sergeant Horn, who explained that the town had no comprehensive emergency management plan. And the council agreed that it would be a good thing to have such a plan, but decided that it should be a full-time position for an emergency management manager, I guess. And Councilman Shugarts asked what I thought was a legitimate question, is will this position be posted? His question was simply slapped down, so the council went ahead and created a new position and staffed that position with no job description, no salary range, no search for the most qualified candidate, and no apparent consultation with either the town manager or the chief of police, who was his supervisor. Now, Mr. Fowler made it a point that we have a council manager form of government, and having been a manager in a council manager government, I was kind of surprised by that, because the general statute in North Carolina, 160A-148, she shall appoint and suspend or remove all city officers and employees not elected by the people, and whose appointment or removal is not otherwise provided for by law, except the city attorney. So for the council to decide that there should be a position is fine, but it should be the manager's decision as to who fills that position. And since she is going to be held responsible for the performance of the organization, hiring decisions go to the manager. That's why you have a manager. And in my opinion, what she should do is to post every position, collect resumes from anyone who's interested, conduct interviews of those people, select the best candidate, and make recommendations to the council as to who she wants to hire and who is going to report to her. I don't know if Sergeant Horn was the best candidate available at the time, but my point is neither do you. And I recommend that all future positions of any kind be posted, and that the best candidates be offered the positions, not the most expedient candidates. Thank you.
Next I have Miss Laura Stanton of 2008 North New River.
I just want to agree with David Gilbride. I think that was a fabulous point. But I did want to say thank you, and this might be just slightly off topic, so I'll take 30 seconds. Thank you to the town, now his name is Steve Padgett, and the town for cleaning up that lot next to my property. It finally got done. I had a whole crew out there all day, one day, cleaning it up, so thank you all very much.
Next we have a Miss Sandy Monroe at 316 North Shore.
I heard a rumor today, and I have no idea if it's true or not true, but I heard that Waste Industries perhaps bought out Pink Trash. And if that's true, I wondered how that might be affecting our contract that we just signed with them for our town. Just kind of curious about that. The other thing I wanted to ask about is I know that the town just did some cleanup of one of the condemned houses, I think, right down the street from me. But there's also a big gazebo, a gigantic one that's tipped over on its side. I wondered what the process was for getting some resolution on getting that removed, if that's the homeowner's responsibility or if the town will be doing additional cleanup for the new things, stairs and things that have fallen down onto the beach before this push happens, because it sure would be a shame to not be able to push up in front of that home. And the last thing is and also on the sand push, will they be pulling out the remaining stair pilings?
Speak up, I can't hear you.
I can't either.
During the sand push, before that gets complete, will they be pulling out any of those remaining stair pilings that are all right in front of the areas that are going to be pushed? Is that going to damage that equipment if they're scraping that sand up and hitting those remaining stair pilings and things that are still there? So that's it.
A question on where you were talking about a tree?
A gazebo, a large
the
gazebo.
gazebo.
It's
Yeah.
huge, like gigantic.
Yeah, we have talked about that, what they're gonna do with that.
Okay, that's it. That's all of them.
That's all? Okay. All right. We will now go to council forum, and I will start at the far end with our Silver Fox. And,
Real quick, on annexation, I need a motion to approve the consistency statement for the zoning. It's just a
Make a motion to
Okay.
approve it.
I'll second it.
have a second. All in favor say aye. Aye. Motion carried.
We needed a second or a motion and a second for the consistency statement for the zoning classification for C3 for Highway 17. It's just a pre-function remove for annexation.
I made the motion. I'll make the motion.
Okay. That's good.
Consensus.
All right. Okay, now, is there anything else? Okay. All right, now.
I just want to
Councilman
thank
Dodd.
everyone for coming, and I'm hoping, I know you folks are too, that it'll stop raining. We've had enough rain, everything's muddy, people can't get done what they need to get done. The fire department's been busy. I don't have the figures at this time, but we've been busy with assisting the EMS, and I hope everyone will have a good weekend and a good month.
That it?
That's it.
All right, Councilman Jerry.
I just wanted to address something. I've been getting a lot of phone calls, emails about the code enforcement officer, so I just wanted to cover that real quick so we're on the same page. I'm obviously super excited that we have a code enforcement officer. Our town needs a code enforcement officer. I'm glad that this town made a decision to do that. We've needed this position for a long time. Garbage, excessive signs, overgrown lots, parking. There's been a lot of issues and those are things that a lot of people say, well, why don't the police handle it? Police don't handle those items. They're already bogged down with the things they're doing. In the past, our ordinances were enforced with a gray marker, if that makes sense to y'all. And so our ordinance need to start being enforced with a permanent black marker. You can't enforce something based on favoritism, and we want to change that process. Now, one of the things that happened was back in the summer, we know that some of the ordinances need to be rewritten. We know there's some that need to be changed, okay, and they're not really appropriate at this time. Maybe they even affect a business. I know those were passed along to the departments last year to get changed and readjusted. And I don't know, Ashley, if there's any kind of progress on that, but I think that'd be great if we could, I don't know if there's a couple I have pinpointed or not, or are they just getting back with you on the ones that need to be adjusted?
Yes. So staff is, since the hurricane, that's what threw us off.
Right, yeah,
We
for
were
sure.
on a roll. So now departments are gearing back up for that, and they will be coming back and presenting what changes they think need to be made to their specific departmental ordinances.
Okay, excellent. So I just wanted to say that we are in that process of doing that. And so as I'm sure you've gotten phone calls, Mr. Mayor, about, somebody yelled at me about a sign, or Daniel Boone came and said we did this and this.
Right.
And my story's the same. We have to have some structure here. It can't be a free-for-all. And he's doing the right thing. And I believe that as time goes off, it'll pay off in the long term. So that's it for me. Thank you.
That it?
Yep.
All righty. Mr. Nelva R. Albury.
I just want to thank everybody for coming. We didn't have too much excitement tonight, but it will eventually come. But I want to do what I can to help every one of you. And we're going to try to work on the things that we've got before us. And I want everybody to just enjoy the weekend and have a happy Easter. Okay.
You through?
Yep.
All right. Mr. Buddy Fowler.
Thank you, Mayor. I'd like to thank everybody for coming tonight. I appreciate the positive comments that were made on behalf of, to the council. Also appreciate the comments that were made concerning our workshop. The lady that had a comment about the items on the beach, the gazebo and things, Steve and I think Ms. Our town manager will probably address that in her talk when she comes up, so she should be able to answer your questions. We have started, we rode the beach and looked, and as Mayor pointed out, and Jack did too, Jack Solak, they're doing a good job pushing, and it started, and hopefully when we get the hauling started, we can get a temporary berm put up that can certainly help aid us along through the summer. We're getting there. We're having a lot of rental homes beginning to come back on the market to get people are completing their repairs, which is great. A lot of our businesses are open. The word that we're trying to get out and need to get out is that we have businesses that are back open. Some have never closed. They've always been open. And our renters are back. The island is beginning to shape up. We're not where we need to be by no means, so don't take that as we're where we should be. We're not where we should be, but we're better off than we were yesterday and the day before. They're doing a great job of repairing our accesses as fast as they can. They're contracting some of those out and to try to get them repaired a little bit quicker because of the necessity that we're going to have need for whenever the vacations return. You can always sit back and be a Monday morning quarterback in a lot of cases, in a lot of situations. Those things occur. That's human nature. And I appreciate those and recognize those. And you need to be, get the most information you can get to make decisions. And we do have a great manager. We rely on our manager a lot, and we do operate under that form. Then, as Ms. Albury said, we have a Easter coming up. I wish everybody to be safe in your travels. Enjoy your family, and have a great time. And again, thank you for coming tonight.
Miss Teresa Batts.
A couple weeks ago, Don Helms and myself, we met with the Rural Transportation Committee. We are still online to get a roundabout at Watts Landing Road. We are still online to get a roundabout at the Publix and a green tea intersection out at the Exxon station and Highway 17. So with all those coming in, they're planning on that it will definitely be a safety. For safety, it will save lives and it will keep the traffic moving in those congested areas. We got a Doom workshop meeting this Saturday, March 9th. I hope most of you, or tell your neighbors or your friends, please come from 1 to 3 at the Welcome Center. Next week, myself, along with several members from North Topsail Beach and Topsail Beach, will be going to D.C. to speak to our senators concerning getting funding for beach nourishment. We also met with a task force today to with the Resource Institute to try to get money for approximately $4.3 million, a grant for the Living Shoreline Project. I think our main goal was for stormwater infiltration is where we put our number one standard as far as setting the goal, along with dune replacement. We have, again, rode the beach and looked at the sand pushing. I think it looks awesome. I am very glad that we made that decision to push in the areas that were not in the green zone. If I was an oceanfront owner, I would definitely be very happy and glad that the city stepped up to the plate and did that for me. And that's about it, other than a few other meetings that will be coming up in a couple weeks. The Walk Out of Darkness walk is the 24th here in Surf City. And then summer camp registration started this week, which is a big deal for our Parks and Rec department. And the Mountains to Sea Trail is also the 22nd through the 24th, which is going to bring like 300 visitors to our area that weekend. So hopefully we all can make some money. That's about it. Thank you.
Thank you, Teresa. As Teresa and Buddy said, both Buddy said, we did ride the beach yesterday, and we saw a lot of things, not only the gazebo, but there's a lot of large decks that are down, so those people will be, you're going to talk about that, right? Those people will be contacted and tell them if they really want the sand, then they're going to have to move those structures. So if anybody wants a nice gazebo, I'm sure they can probably get it. Just go down there and pick it up and move it wherever you want. Have to be strong, but anyway. But it held up good. It just laying it on the side. But yes, we're in agreement with that. We're going to have that stuff moved. And then as far as cleaning the streets, we'll be talking about that. And to push, I knew Jack would be happy with us pushing anyway. But anyway, I'd just like to appreciate everybody coming tonight. And we do enjoy having these meetings when people are here to make comments, whichever way the comments go. We appreciate the comment, and you're here to help keep us in line. So that's what we appreciate. But just once again, I appreciate everything, and I think we're looking better each day as we go along. And so that's all we can do. But also on that EOC, he was experienced before, and he brings a lot of experience and a lot of knowledge to our town. And if you ever sat down and talked with him, I sort of think of him as sort of a EOC nerd. I mean, that's all he's got on his brain, isn't it? And but he does do some good work. So he's got us going in the right direction. I think the comment was made. In fact, I think the lady sitting right in front of us was one that made the comment a while back that we really needed an EOC center and a forum to do it. And you were right. And so, I mean, that's what I'm saying. We appreciate comments that are made by the public. And of course, we sort of realized that after we went through this last hurricane also, but we do appreciate everything, all your comments that you make. So at this time, I will turn it over to our manager.
Thank you. One quick item of business. Mrs. Jane Beasley from the Sea Turtle Hospital reached out and would like for Surf City to approve a resolution in support of House Bill 169. This bill supports the adoption of a loggerhead sea turtle as the official saltwater reptile of North Carolina. It's the most common sea turtle on the coast, and they lay hundreds of eggs on the southern beaches of North Carolina. And North Carolina does not have an official saltwater reptile. So I ask for a motion and a second to adopt this resolution in support of the loggerhead sea turtle as a state reptile.
I'll make that motion that we accept it.
Okay.
Do I have a second on that?
Second.
Do I have any discussion? All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Motion carried. Thank you.
Okay, just a few updates. An update on Town Hall. We now have an engineer or architect and engineering firm that I'm working with. Stewart Cooper Newell is that firm, and they're beginning the process for the new Town Hall. They're in the preliminary stages. They're going to come up with a master plan, talk to staff, find out what our needs are, and make sure that we have the appropriate space to accommodate our current staff and any growth that we may have. In this conversation, I asked for an approximate cost, and he gave me $3.5 million. With FEMA, we have an alternative project that is being filed with FEMA, and I anticipate that we're going to receive about $1.5 million from them. We also have received $34,000 from our insurance company. So obviously all of that money will go towards the construction of a new town hall. However, that leaves a remaining balance. So I applied for a grant through the Golden Leaf Foundation for $2.5 million. The Golden Leaf Foundation has some hurricane recovery dollars that they're wanting to give out to municipalities who obviously need some help from Hurricane Florence. So I hope to hear back from that soon. They seem very motivated to give out this money. Hopefully around May, I will know if we will be awarded that amount or any amount in relation to that. James and I, we attended the after-action review with Pender County to discuss Hurricane Florence and the things that went wrong, things we could have done better. It was a very good conversation. They had a representative from Camp Lejeune that came out and kind of led the meeting. He had a lot of good points, a lot of good takeaways. So we'll continue those conversations with Pender County, and James has also been having the same kind of conversations with Onslow County to make sure that all agencies locally are on the same page and that we know what we can do better and be more prepared the next go-round. Hopefully that'll be a while from now. Water and sewer. You all had made a request to get a third, fourth opinion out there at the Juniper Swamp land. Carl Schaefer with AWT has been acquired to go out and inspect and analyze that property. He's currently in that process now, and he hopes to have some information back to us in the next couple of weeks. So as soon as I get that, hopefully he can come present that information. As for the gazebo, yes, we have been in contact with that property owner numerous times, and we have instructed that property owner that they are responsible for moving that gazebo off the beach. However, if they do not remove it, then the town will remove it at their expense. It's something that's got to get taken out of the way so that the sand push can continue. Mr. Joey, as for the bridge maintenance, Chad and myself have been in discussion with DOT. Our bridge is the guinea pig in trying to figure out how to do maintenance on that bridge. So the multi-use path and getting debris off, we're in discussions with them on how they can do that. They already have a gentleman who has a contract with them that is used to doing those types of things and has that equipment. So he is going to come out and perform a test run to make sure that the equipment he has is conducive for maintaining that bridge. But with him, along with the town staff, we will be maintaining the debris on that bridge as well as the multi-use path. Also, we've been working with DOT on a stormwater infiltration system. As Councilwoman Batts mentioned, we obviously have a stormwater issue when we have heavy rain events. This is a project that they have been working with Caswell Beach on, where the stormwater is directed away from the streets, and it's placed more into our dune system. And this water is then there and saturated into the ground, and it helps the vegetation on these dunes grow and be a lot stronger. This has proven to be a pretty viable project, so we have contracted with W.K. Dixon, who is the engineer on the Caswell Beach project, and he is doing a feasibility study. Staff has gone out with their representative to identify top priority areas, and they're going to do this study based on those areas and then come back and let us know what we can and cannot do and where we can do it and so forth, so that we can move forward with hopefully getting that water moved out of the street. Obviously, for emergency personnel, it's an issue when that street floods and you can't pass through it. An update on TA Loving. Obviously, I know that you all have probably seen all the work that's going on out there at the Harris Teeter. I know it's probably a nuisance, but that is TA Loving. They're continuing to finish up their water and sewer work out there, and that work is supposed to be completed by March 11th, and Austin Boulevard will be opened back up as soon as that work is completed. Final note, department heads, they are working on budget. We're in that season. They've been working diligently on that, and we will have our kickoff at our March work session next Friday, so get ready.
Okay.
That's all.
All righty. Now we have got our illustrious attorney, his turn. Right. Right.
Don't like to give up what they think what they do want. It's not what they think they want, but what they do want.
Right.
But it's certainly for their benefit, for the benefit of the town.
That sometimes that's hard to explain too, why it's to their benefit. Okay. Couldn't hear
what she
what the
said.
attorney
Sorry,
did.
you want to repeat it?
Sorry, they didn't hear you. Okay.
Just briefly, I just wanted to commend the staff for helping us get a lot of easements for beach renourishment and the water project that is being undertaken. It is not easy to get people to sign an easement when they don't understand what they're signing. At least a lot of people don't. Unless you have a one-on-one, it's hard to explain it to them as well. But they've done a great job, and we're trying to get all of them that are required so that we can get some money back from the feds to reimburse what the town has spent already. And we've got one corporate speedway down on the corner. If y'all got any influence, get them to go ahead and sign the easement and send it back to us. But we're working on that, and hopefully we'll have an answer next week on them.
Okay, thank you, sir. And like you said, some people, when you ask for easements, they don't understand the benefit that it would be to them. And especially sometime when you're dealing with corporate entities, that seems to be the hardest place in the world to get something passed through, because I guess there's got to be so many people that's got to put their input in it, but it takes a while to do that. But if you, and then as far as our oceanfront access that we're having people to sign, if you know people that own that oceanfront property, sometime maybe you could explain to them that you need to sign this so that you'll get the sand when we start coming through with the beach nourishment project. You know, you don't want to be sitting there with a hole in the beach, and because we can't put it there unless we have the permission to put it. So, and of course that's a 30-year easement, but it's to their benefit. Okay. All right. Yes, ma'am.
Just want to mention one thing quickly. I don't know if you've all noticed the tables off to the side over here, but for every council meeting moving forward, including today, all department heads will be over there an hour before the council meeting, so starting at 5:30, and they're available to citizens if they have any questions or concerns. So please feel free to come by and ask us your questions.
And if you can get that word out to the public, make it a little easier, because then they can get, instead of standing up in public comment and saying what they're talking about, that way they can go directly to that department and get an answer from them at that time. So I think this is a good addition to what we're trying to offer to the public. Okay, does anybody else have anything for the good of the meeting? If not, do I have a motion to adjourn?
So moved.
Second?
Make a motion to adjourn.
All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, which I know there's none. Motion to adjourn is unanimous.